everyone. I think we are already in live. So thanks for joining us today in this webinar introducing some of our solutions, CYPE Architecture and Open BIM Layout. My name is Andrea Barracina and I'm one of the sales representatives of our international department. I would like to introduce you to our industrial engineer, Maria. She works in the technical support department and she will be in charge of explaining the most important points of these tools. So Maria, thank you very much for joining me today here. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. It's my pleasure.
Okay, so let's start from the beginning. What is CYPE Architecture? CYPE Architecture is a 3D architectural modeling program specifically designed for multidisciplinary collaboration. And with Open BIM Layout, we compose plans with 2D and 3D sections and views that have been created using BIM models. This is the reason I'm really excited about this webinar, because CYPE Architecture is a great opportunity for those users that want to start working with the BIM workflow. I know it sounds scary to change the way of working, but for that reason, from CYPE, we have developed a tool that is really easy to learn. A couple of weeks should be enough to learn the basis of the program and to start a new project. Other programs take months, even half a year to learn. Moreover, these other programs are expensive as well, but CYPE Architecture is free. Why is it free? Because from CYPE, we want to encourage people to start working with BIM, so they can prove to themselves that it's really fast and easy, and there is nothing to worry about this new workflow. So, should we start, Maria? I think you are already sharing your screen.
Okay, I'm ready. Please confirm that I'm showing now CYPE Architecture.
Yes, I can see your. Yes, I can see your screen, and I can see that you just opened CYPE Architecture. I hear you properly as well, so I think we can start.
Perfect, perfect. Yeah. So I will start. I'd like to, before showing the program, I'd like to make a brief comment, because one of the things that makes CYPE Architecture special from my point of view is the duality between the sketch and the architecture.
Okay, but what does this duality mean?
This means that, as you know, a project has many phases. And many times, the first phase is the moment where the user, the architect, most of the times, is thinking about the building. Is maybe the architect hasn't decided yet the shape, the volume, this kind of thing, the distributions, etc. So there's a first phase of where it's not important the details or the constructive elements. It's more about the shape, maybe sometimes even the colors or this kind of thing, and you need to go fast, and you need an agile application for that. And then there's a second phase where you are actually working in the building, and you need levels, you need architectural or constructive elements such as walls, slabs, windows, etc. Okay, so in this program, we are very aware of that, and that's the reason why we have two tabs, one from the sketch and another for the architecture. But at the same time, these two tabs are correlated, and I'd like to show you later on how these are connected. Okay?
Great, Maria. So let's study in more detail each tab. Should we start with sketch?
Yes, perfect. I think it's a very good idea. In our programs, in general, the developers program that from left to right. So if you are lost and you open a new program, if you start from the left to the right, you're doing it right. Okay? So I open CYPE Architecture, and the first thing I found is the sketch tab. So here I am. As you see, it's a 3D interface. And the first thing I wanted to show you, because you can see here, this is not empty. I have already something done. What I did here is to activate a grid. Okay? So in order to show you that this program has drawing tools, such as line, arcs, quadrilateral circles, the type of tools you would expect in a drawing program, and references options that allows you to draw using those references. Okay, so a very easy to use drawing program. And here I'll do this is, as I said, this is a complete job. So the first thing, now we are seeing only the grid. Okay, if I activate here a button in order to show the sketch, I'm going to show you a complete sketch done especially for this little project. Okay, so what's the special thing from a point of view of this sketch part? The special thing is that you can convert from a sketch to an architecture. Okay.
Okay.
So, for example, well, the first in one step would be to select all the layers in this file, and in a matter of seconds you will see the complete building.
Wow.
How was this done? Okay, this, of course, this wasn't done so fast. Okay, but I just wanted to show you the process. Okay, so the process was, first we had some references, then we draw in the sketch part using those references, and then convert it from the drawing to architectural elements. I'll show it in a very simple thing. For example, if I'll go back to the original part where everything was unselected except the sketch. I could continue drawing, for example, another one quadrilateral. In here, I do like this and this quadrilateral. At the beginning, this is only a surface, okay? It's a plan. But if I use in the architectural tab this tool, which is for the wall, entry mode by surface area, I can convert this surface into a real, in this case, a concrete brick wall with a specific thickness.
Maria, this is really interesting, but I have a question. Will you say that the sketch part is the first step to follow?
It can be.
Yes.
It can be the first step. Even it could be the final step, because, or it can be, or you can skip that step. I'll show you with examples, okay?
Perfect.
When I said that it could be the beginning and the end, what I mean is that, for example, in this file that I'm showing now, in this file we have only a sketch. Have you seen here? Yes,
it's really impressive.
It did. I think so too, Andrea. Look, if in this part, if we say that we want to hide the sketch, we only see the furniture and some steps. Okay, so imagine this is almost everything at the sketch. Okay, from here we export it to BIM Server Center and continue with Open BIM Layout and created this drawing. Okay, this could be an example of a layout for a architectural competition, for instance. Okay, so that could be an example of something that you are not actually going to build, so you don't need to go into so much detail or define if it's a roof or if it's something like that. So this is a possible way. Okay, just from scratch to the rest of the programs. That could be one way. Or another.
And the other?
The other way could be if you begin directly from architecture.
Okay. Can you show us?
Yes, of course, of course.
Perfect.
In that case, because maybe you are given somebody gives you the template. For example, that could be a very, very common situation. Okay, where the building...
So I guess that you have to import that template to CYPE Architecture. Could you explain us how to do it?
Of course. In this button, from here, you can, it says the XFDWG template. From this button, you can import in different formats. In fact, it could be the XFDWG or even pictures. And you just have to import these templates and then assign them to the different floor views. Okay, for example, in this floor view where I'm now, I have said that I want to see the template F1. So that's what I have to use in order to draw using that template.
Okay.
Before showing this, I'd like to make a brief comment because as you see, I've been swapping from 3D to 2D, and I'd like to say something important. That is that this program is 100% 3D. We are working in a 3D model, and that's what we will generate or produce a 3D BIM model. Okay, and as I have shown you how to work in 3D directly. Okay, so we could insert anything directly in the 3D, but it is possible. Okay, for example, just a little example, I could insert from here any element I need, okay, with a shape that I need, okay. But it is also possible to work using the floor plans. For starters, here from views, you can create as many views as you need. Okay, floor views, reflected ceiling, elevation sections, etc. Very easily. Once you have the floor views, for example, in this case, I have these floor views for one for each level. I'm going to go back to the floor one. This is actually, this is 3D, as you can see, okay? But it's if I want, I can work here in the 3D and add any element I need. Okay, for example, an internal partition. I could this way here and insert any element, okay, like that. Or if I feel more comfortable with the 2D projection, I could come here, select this, and work as if it were in 2D. And then the same thing, imagine here, I can insert any element I need, with adjustment I need, etc. Again, 1 meter, I stop, and then I can check what I have done, okay? So
wow, this is really interesting, Maria, because I think this part is really important for people who are not still used to working from a 3D view, isn't it?
Exactly, that's it. It's very depending on the kind of user, you can use one entry mode, the other, whatever you prefer the situation, and it's really easy to use. And yes, don't be scared of this because it's intuitive and easy.
Yes, I can see that it's really easy, fast, and you can even choose the view you want to work with.
Exactly. So depending on whatever element you want to you need to introduce, you can be changing, create new views. It's for me. Well, I encourage people to try and see by themselves, but it's really, for me, it's a very, very easy to use program. And talking about this part, maybe we could make a little. Yes, I don't want to forget to show you how to use the templates. Okay, because
yes.
No, I almost forgot to explain the part of the templates. Okay, this is already finished. Okay, this building is finished. But imagine that I'm in a situation where I'm going to start drawing. If you don't mind, I am going to and select all the templates. So sorry, all the layers, so I can focus on the template. Imagine this could be the initial situation. Okay, that you insert the template and start drawing.
Okay.
Is this only something that I have and as a reference? It's more than that. It's more than that because we have this important button, which is the template object snaps.
Yes.
That allows us to use them when we are inserting elements. For example, imagine I'm inserting a floor slab. I could very easily, in this case, it could be an internal floor slab, for example. Okay, as you see here, I can use the references, and the program snaps the template, so I can draw really, really fast and with accuracy. Okay, imagine something like that. I'm going to stop at some point. Okay, but something like that, and that's it. Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to delete it because there was already another slab. Okay, but this is the methods. Okay, so you see how you can use the templates in order to draw any element of the program.
Okay, perfect. So I think these are the main features of the architecture tab, isn't it?
Yes, okay, I think so. Maybe about the construction elements, there are many types of constructive elements. Of course, this is just a little. I just want to show the potential of the program. So I think probably by looking at this, you can see the type of elements we are able to introduce. I'm not going to read everything we can do. Stairs, different type of openings, the different something interesting, the curtain walls, roofs, railings, etc. All of that elements. I think you can set. This could be maybe this part, and maybe another part that is important are the spaces.
The spaces. What can you tell us about the spaces?
I'd like to make a little pause and explain a little bit of the spaces because
No worries.
okay, this is important because the fact that the ability that this program has to create spaces that will be used in other programs, for example, are acoustic programs, thermal analysis programs, etc. The spaces are very important, and this program has some tools, especially this one, the detected spaces on plan. I think is particularly good because only by clicking on one point of the space, it is detected automatically. And then there are other options because, well, you know that sometimes the volumes are not as easy as this. In this example, maybe we have more complicated volumes, and the program has also the ability to create spaces with other shapes. Okay, but for simple projects, you can go really, really fast. And this also just for a little example of how we can see the spaces created in these files. For instance, here, for example, I could activate only the layer I have for the spaces, and you can see all the volumes, surfaces and volumes that will go to other programs. And well, we'll see later, okay, how this can be read by drawings program, for example, and be part of a distribution plan.
Okay, perfect. So if I'm not wrong now, we should talk about the last tab, furniture, isn't it?
Yes, perfect. This tab is the last one. And this is like the final touch of the building. And it has probably at least two purposes. Okay, maybe for to begin with, it helps to sometimes you know that one step is to sell the building, okay, to sell the project, your idea to another person that has to believe in the project, okay?
Yes, of course, just to make it more attractive.
Exactly.
For the client.
That's it. And in having introduced the different furniture makes the spaces more understandable in that sense. Okay, so you can explain. Yeah, I like. Let me show you this example that I see particularly good for that explanation. You see here with this is a block of dwellings. You can see the exact position of the furniture in the building, so you can explain the use that you thought is good for that particular space. Maybe this is a combined use of kitchen and dining room, for instance. With the furniture is understood better, I think. So that could be one of the why this can be interesting, okay? The fact that it has you can show the definitive or your approach to the how you think the distribution could be. And another thing that from my point of view is very important is that in the part of the home appliances and the sanitary appliances are even read by our programs as elements to be connected. I'll give you an example, okay?
Yes, please.
For example, the sanitary appliances in the different, in the bathroom and kitchen, especially. If we continue working with other programs, for example, our plumbing program, so plumbing water systems, you can see that the program has the ability to read those elements and is going to read the exact position of that element of the wash basin or the shower head, etc. So you have the certainty that the element's position is the right one.
That is really interesting, Maria.
I think so too. And even is connected to other tools that the electricity program. So you know that there's a that device in that particular place. So it's more than it's a lot more than something or more than a drawing. Okay. So think about the foreign. I mean, I could. This is just a little comments about the programs, okay? Because as you expect, I could say a lot more, but just the most important points I think are those. I don't think I have forgotten. Well, maybe just if somebody has doubts about how to insert the furniture, how this is done. Again, it is possible to work in the way you prefer. I mean, you can insert them in the directly in the 3D, like for example, here I could insert any element, I don't know, something simple, okay, for example.
So here you can work from a 2D view or a 3D view as well.
That's it, exactly.
Perfect.
Exactly, depending on what you prefer, or you can do as you prefer, and insert any element, and of course something that is, I just wanted to comment that is important. I think is that there are a new feature is that now we can group elements. We can group different elements in a group and then copy in another part. So once you have done the distribution of one dwelling, for example, you can continue with others, etc. So again, simple and fast.
Yes. I don't know if you agree with me, Maria, but it reminds me to a video game I used to play when I was a kid. It looks really entertaining, fast and easy.
It is. I know what you mean, and that's it.
Okay. So, Maria, I think these are the main features we will focus on while using CYPE Architecture. We could be here talking about the program for hours, but first of all, I have one question for you, Maria. How do we connect CYPE Architecture with other tools or programs, or even with the BIM Server Center?
Okay, thanks for that, for pointing out this, because I think it's quite important. In this case, CYPE Architecture, as well as you said at the beginning, is focused on the collaborative workflow. And what does it mean? It means that it's totally connected, maybe, and it is connected using BIM Server.Center. What is BIM Server.Center? Our platform that, on the one hand, includes the store where you can find the different programs we have, and also is where we have we can have our projects. Okay, I can, as you can see here, here are my projects. And as a matter of fact, it's the part that I want to share about the project. So, for example, I can show you this project called the Single Family Detached House. I created a project from BIM Server.Center, and this file, for example, the single family detached house. This house is connected to that project. That's why we can see it here, okay? What does it imply, okay? Because the beginning, in this case, the beginning was in CYPE Architecture, where we have built the house. But what else? Well, the next step is to share.
Okay,
because the native files are always saved in the computer. So in terms of responsibility or to know which file belongs to whom, it's no problem, okay? The files are saved in the computer of whoever is working. But I can share the BIM model. So, for example, as I said, I created architecture from here and share to the project. So now, if I see in that project, in contributions, I can see that the file from architecture. Okay, I just 1 second. So everybody sees what I mean here for share. I give it a name, and that's exactly what I'm going to find in BIM Server Center. This implies a lot of things. Okay, we support the IFC, and of course it can be, we can see it, etc. Okay, but for me, what is very important, well, of course, I can invite people. Sorry, I can invite people.
Well, I guess that's the goal of uploading all this to the BIM Server Center, that you can share it with other collaborators.
Exactly. I could include more people in the work team, so they can see the project or contribute to the project and add more results from other applications. What applications?
Yeah.
Okay, there are a number of applications that can be combined with CYPE Architecture. If here we have added maybe the most common applications that would be the next step when we are starting from CYPE Architecture. Okay.
So just one question, Maria. Can we also connect to Open BIM Layout from here?
Yes. In fact, this is the first option that is given here is
drawing layouts.
Exactly.
That's the one that we use to connect with Open BIM Layout. Perfect.
That's it. If we press in that button, the Open BIM Layout will be opened automatically, and we will have a project or a job connected to that project. And this is what I have here, for example. Okay, this is the file connected exactly to that project.
Okay, amazing. Should we start talking about Open BIM Layout, Maria?
Yes, maybe first, before, I don't want to forget to say something about the connection.
No problem at all.
Okay, let me please say one thing, because probably most of the times the CYPE Architecture is going to be the beginning. So we will start from CYPE Architecture and continue with other applications. But it could happen that there's something before. And one example of this is if the first step was the structure. Imagine that, well, I suppose a lot of people in the audience knows CypCAD. It's one of our very, very popular programs about the structures.
Exactly.
And imagine that this was the first step and we already have the structure. We could start a project from in the Server Center from CYPE Architecture, from CypCAD, and then continue in CYPE Architecture. And that's what I wanted to show from here, okay?
Perfect.
This could be the beginning. And as you see here in the interface, CYPE Architecture has the ability to read models that are from other programs. It's like the structure, in this case. And not only that, I mean, this is not only something that we are seeing, this is something that we are able to capture using the object snap option. So we could even, of course, from the architecture tab, we could come here, pressing the wall button, and use this. As you can see in yellow, we are. Can you see that? Because I don't know if it's too small, but I am snapping perfectly from the
Yes,
structure.
I can see it.
Can you? Okay, perfect. So there's a yellow square, and I can use it in order to draw it. Okay, of course I can automatically change, okay, the dimension and continue. Okay, here it is, and so on. Okay, imagine windows, etc. But that's the process. Okay, another possibility. So I think I, I hope the audience gets understands all the flexibility that this program has. There are many ways of starting the project and work with this. And well, not only that, we could read even, for example, the site. That it happens sometimes that we even have the site information about like in this example. And this can be read also from CYPE Architecture. Okay, the site, the landscape, etc. Okay, so just I think with that I have closed the part of CYPE Architecture more or less.
Okay, that's perfect. So let's start talking about Open BIM Layout, isn't it?
Perfect. I'll do that.
Perfect. Which are the most interesting or important tabs in this program?
Okay. Andrea, for me, because well, the goal of this program is to create the layout of the drawings of the BIM models. And you can see the typical or what you could expect in any program about for drawings, lines, art, things you can draw. But your question, what is the most important thing for me? The ability to connect with BIM Server Center so it can get all the information from the BIM models we have exported to BIM Server Center. Also, I'm going to show it graphically now, okay? Here you can see this is exactly from the single family detached house we have seen earlier, okay? But how did we get this? How was this possible? Well, this was possible because here in 3D Scene in library, as we have connected the file to the project, we can read everything that the project contains. So you can see here this way of searching by floors, by models. Here we are seeing the model created from CYPE Architecture. Okay, but it could include a model, the BIM model created from plumbing water systems, or the structure from CyCAD. Okay.
Okay.
So you can combine here as you need the different models, the different IFC categories, etc., and create your own scenes. Here, as an example, we have these views, these floor plans, these distributions. In this case, for example, we have selected only the spaces that I mentioned before. Remember, if this is something that can be interesting in some situations to have the plan only of the distribution. So here it is, and then maybe I can create different sections like this. Sorry, like this one, for example. Okay, and another scene for the elevations. In this part, I'm going to, you know what, I'm going to do only one so you can see the process. Okay,
Perfect.
imagine, okay, for example, I want to create one new view. This is going to be, well, I want to say example. Okay, in this example, I'm going to, maybe I want a scene that is going to be only of the ground floor. So I'm in here in floors, I'm going to leave only the ground floor. And then, as I said, for me, the spaces are very important. So I'm going to leave only the spaces. And something like that, okay? If I do this, I have created a scene that is going to be available here in Open BIM Layout. 1 second. Okay, so now that this scene has been created, it can be used any moment in a sheet I create. Let's create a new sheet, for example. If here we create a new sheet, this is an empty. Let's create a new sheet. If, for example, I press here in new sheet, I can even use a template. I have here one, for example, and accept. I have here my empty sheet. Okay. So
Okay.
how can I insert now the information I have in 3D Sim? I can do it very easily. I just have to press here in insert.
Okay.
And create and tell the program the space I have. So, for example, I have this. I want to use this space, this towel, and what I'm going to use here first. For example, as I am in the section part, I'm going to say that I want to use a section, and it's going to be that one. And I'm going to choose the scale. Yes, it could be depending on the zoom or a predefined one. I prefer that in this case, depending on the zoom. So I can select it like that, for example, and I can choose if I want in color or, for example, in monochrome image. If I select like that, I just have to press in a point in the exterior, and here I have the section. And then I can combine it with any other element I need. For example, we did in the example. I could do like this and use exactly the view that we created. Here it is. Okay, just a little example so people understand. This is, I mean, these others are really better. I just wanted to explain the process, okay? The
Yes, of
process
course.
of,
Thank you.
okay. The direct is difficult sometimes, sorry. But this goes nicer, and I prefer if people keep with the image of this, okay, of these compositions.
Yes, but thank you. It was
Mm,
quite
mm.
easy to understand.
Okay, for me, it's, I mean, one thing that I really like, or I think I really want that everybody understands before finishing this webinar, is the power of this program, is that these are not only drawings. This is more than that. This is, we are using the BIM technology. What do I mean with that? I mean, first, the connectivity. I mean, that when something changes from one place, we export and this is updated here. And the other thing is that these elements are read as elements with information. I mean, for example, you look at this tab. For me, it could be in another color because I really like this button. This if you press here, it could be highlighted. I mean, okay, like if you press in tab and click in an element, for example, a partition, this interior partition, as you see here, this contains the information that the user gave it when in CYPE Architecture.
That's really interesting. Which tab is that one?
The tag button.
Perfect.
So from here you can read whatever you want. I mean, this is editable from CYPE Architecture. You could have written whatever you wanted, okay? And so this is the information that will be read. And imagine, for example, this equipment. You can do it with any elements, really, okay?
Yes,
And this will be read in other programs, and you can decide exactly what you want to show, okay? And the same goes, for example, with the tags that come from another program or any other element, okay? So it's more than that.
Another thing that I would like to point out is the interface. The interface of this program is quite similar to the one in CYPE Architecture. I mean, this is one of the advantages of CYPE. The interface of all the programs are similar, so it's easier for the user to learn, isn't it?
I agree totally with you, and that's one of the goals actually. That the programs are easy to use. and similar. So if you spend some time learning one program, then the other will be the learning curve is very good, because the next one will be really easy for you. It's as if you already know the program.
Yeah.
You see, yes, the 3D scene when we were selecting which model we wanted to see, etc., was exactly like what I had shown before this, what I had shown before about what you can see or not see from CYPE Architecture.
Yes, you're
So
right.
so that's it. That's it, and that's our goal, one of our goals. Okay,
Yeah.
to make
I
it
have
very easy.
I have as well one question for you. Like, what happens if I change the architectural model? Do I need to repeat everything in Open BIM Layout?
Mm, not at all, and because that's one of the very very good things about Open BIM Layout, that and well, in general all the programs, but particularly in that one, if we export, we share from any application, for example CYPE Architecture, to Open BIM Layout, that information will be updated in Open BIM Layout, and we don't need to worry about anything. It will be updated, and that guarantees the consistency of the project.
It's
This
really interesting how everything is updated with only 2 clicks.
That's it. That's it. And it can from it for me it has two very good advantages. First, if it were only one person working in the project, it saves times. That's for sure. Okay, it does, as I'm showing here. I just update and everything is updated automatically. But it's for me particularly good if I'm working in a work team.
Mhm.
I don't have to worry about telling the other person that the model has changed. I just press in the share button from the part that I'm doing, and then in the server center, it will be. I can see that there's a new contribution, and I just if I'm doing the next part, imagine that somebody I don't know did the architecture, and then I want to continue with the Open BIM Layout because I'm in charge of the drawings. In that case, I just have to update the from here, and everything is changed automatically. So that's it.
Perfect. That's amazing.
Mm, yes.
Okay, Maria, what do you think if we talk about the renders now? Is that
Hmm.
all you want to tell us about BIM layouts?
Hmm. It's a, let's go. I agree with you. Let's go to the render, and then I'll say something else about. I'll keep something of a layout
Perfect.
for the for the
So,
end. Okay. Hmm.
can we export our project to any program of render?
Yes, yes. In
Perfect.
fact, the good thing is that we have that's something new. Uh, that from here, from the all the programs that have this button, the print button, have this option of exporting what we are the the current view as different type of files, and the now we have the FBX format. This
Okay.
is a standard. So there are a lot of programs that render programs that use this extension, that can read this extension, for example, to motion. So it is possible to export to that format and continue editing the render from other programs and have very good results, as such as, for example, let me show you one example of these possibilities. Up here in the this was a new feature, so you can see here in type architecture improvements.
That's our web page, isn't it?
That's it. That's it. From here, you can see all the improvements that are made in the program, version by version, and that's what was a very interesting one. The option of exporting in FBX format. Um, as you can see, these examples of programs that allow to read these extensions, and this is an example of the result from after improving the building with two motion. You can get this just an example of a result you could get with two motion.
Okay.
And now is, I think, where comes what I have kept for the last part is that, well, after doing, imagine you have improved you have done the rendering, etc. Because, well, I mean, I almost forgot to say that, in fact, in this program, I mean, in CYPE Architecture, we do have textures, okay? We have the options of include some in the colors options, there are textures, etc. But you know that sometimes we want to improve it, okay? And imagine you have taken your time to improve that render. Of course, you want to use it and show it to your clients, okay? So what can we do with that? Can we use those results in Open BIM Layout? Yes, you can. You can, because I have shown you how to import elements from our own programs, or from things that, sorry, not necessarily from our programs, but from BIM Server Center, from BIM models. Okay, this button is for importing things from BIM models, but there are other formats. What happens if I want to insert a JPG, for example, an image? I could use this button, insert files. This is a general button that allows us to insert different type of more formats of files. DXF, DWG. Imagine we use a traditional CAD program to create the templates. We can insert them here and integrate them in a project, okay? And then these other images, etc. So that's totally.
That's a lot of options.
Yes. In fact, yes, that's it. In fact, here that could be an example of that, okay? Of this would be done in Open BIM Layout, and it has inserted these renders. Okay.
Okay, perfect. I think we have already talked about the main features. I mean, modeling, drawings, renders. What do you think, Maria?
Yes, I think so too. Yes, I think, yes.
Perfect. I think I can see here that we have few questions here in our chat. Will you help me to answer them?
Yes, of course.
Okay, so just give me a second. The first one that I see here, well, why are the different programs divided? I think we have already answered this question before. This is the CYPE philosophy, I will say. What can you tell me about that, Maria?
I think this is a strategy of CYPE, and by dividing the different works in applications, this has a lot of advantages. First, that we can have very light and simple programs for its contributions. Another advantage is that it allows the teamwork, because there's no need to be waiting till one person finishes with the file, with the part that is going to do, and then when it has finished, you receive it and continue, etc. You can work in parallel, doing your different contributions, and well, you have seen this, how this works. And I mean, like here, this drawing, this Open BIM Layout, for example, receives the different models, and you can combine everything in a plan. Maybe I'm interested in showing a plan that has the ducts and also the distribution, for example, or the plan. Imagine that if we had a program for plans for each application, this could be more difficult, and with that is easy and flexible.
Perfect. Well, at the end, that's as well the reason of the BIM workflow as well.
Exactly.
Okay. So I think I have more questions. Are you ready?
Yes, I think so. Let's see. I'm curious.
Can you describe the layers that make up the construction elements by indicating their thickness, material, or properties?
Okay, I guess this question is from when I was explaining CYPE architecture, and well, good point.
Okay.
Yes, because I didn't explain that in detail. Okay, when we in CYPE architecture, we have construction elements, but we give only in fact we only give a type, I mean a name, and the thickness it has. We don't define the layers this element is consist of. Okay, if it has a brick, or exactly how it is composed. Okay, in this program we define how many facades there are. Okay, if there are one for the building, 2, 3, or whatever, only this. We have we have another program which is exactly for giving properties or to define.
Okay, so which program is that one?
That program is Open BIM Construction Systems.
Open BIM Construction Systems.
That's it.
That's another program we also offer.
Exactly. And I mean, this is another very interesting program, and this has complete systems, layers that you can insert. You can insert your own layers, and this is probably this is something that maybe there's somebody that is focused on that part, an expert in that part, and it doesn't necessarily has to be the same person that builds that designs the building. So okay, that's one of our philosophy, that it doesn't have to be the same person that does everything. And here you are, you can see the same one of the buildings we have seen earlier, and in this program we define the constructive elements that it has, and then we can go on. Once this is finished, we can go on with other programs of thermal loads, for example, or Self-30 Plus, you want to do energy simulation, etc. Okay, but every tour or an activity has its particular program.
Okay, perfect. So I have another question. Where can we download the program from?
Okay, you can download the program from our platform, from our store.
From BIM Server Center?
Exactly. I encourage everyone to register in BIMServer.center. It's a free process, free and fast process. In a couple of minutes, you will have access.
Yes, that's a question I do have.
Also?
How long does it take to download the program?
Less than 5 minutes.
That's
Believe
nothing.
it or not, yes. Once you are registered, you have access to the Server Center, and from here you can access the store. Okay. So now you can search for any program, for example, CYPE Architecture, and as you already said, it's a free program. So the process is to download it and install it. That's it.
Perfect.
Yes, if in less than 5 minutes you can be working with the program and open examples and start playing with the program. Exactly.
Yes, because I just want to remind everyone that CYPE Architecture is free. So
and Open BIM Layout is free too. I mean,
and Open BIM Layout is free as well.
Difficult to believe, but it is free.
But it's true. Okay, so I do have another question. Where can we find more information about the programs?
Okay. In the same page where we download the program?
In BIM Server Center as well?
Exactly. Perfect. In BIM Server Center, if we go to the store and search for the program, in this case, CYPE Architecture, we can see here that there's an application website for this program, okay? So by clicking here, you can have access to a lot of things. The detailed information about the program with more explanations about the main points of the program, and then the learning resources.
Okay.
From here, you can have access to the user manual, so you can download it totally free of charge. Okay, you can download and read it and practice. Okay, that's the thing, the manual. And then for people who like more the interactive learning, there are a large number of videos, tutorials, and webinars.
That's for visual even.
Yes. We have from, well, for example, this, I guess, I just talked for a couple of minutes about rendering, but here you have a webinar of about 1 hour talking about the topic.
Okay.
Okay. And then about the new features, in particular of the 2023 version, for example, then, sorry, there are these webinars that maybe are more in detail about the program. And then another part that I'd like to show to people is that we have very short videos about particular steps.
Okay, interesting.
Yes.
Just in case they get stuck in the program with something specific.
Exactly. No, there's no need to look. Is there a webinar that explains how to import the XFDW templates? No need to do that. We have a very short video about that step in particular. And, in fact, in the case of CYPE Architecture, we don't have lessons. So if somebody wants to start from the beginning and follow these lessons, well, we invite them to do it. Okay, so.
Okay, so I think that's all. I think we don't have any more questions for now, but I would like to point out that we will answer questions even once we have finished the webinar. Or, well, Maria, she's part of the technical support team. So if you have a specific question or something, she will help you out, isn't it?
Of course, of course. You can reach us at support@cype.com. Okay,
yes,
that's
and
our address.
They will help you out before and after getting the program. Okay, so just as a quick reminder, CYPE Architecture is free. BIM Layout as well. So I encourage you all to try it, and you will see how easy and fast it is to use. And well, and now I think that's all, isn't it, Maria?
I think so.
Perfect.
I hope.
So I want to thank you all for attending this webinar. And Maria, thank you very much for doing this with this webinar with me.
It's been a pleasure. And well, people, don't be afraid, use the program, and please don't hesitate to contact us. Will be no problem at all.
And if you have questions about how to download it, or if you need the link or something, you can text me as well, okay? So thank you, everyone. See you next time. Thank you, Maria.
You're welcome. Goodbye.
Bye.